I fell into a burning ring of fire. I went down, 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 and the flames got higher. Welcome, everybody, to the Daily What Ifs. Has the robots always been here? That's a good question. We'll be right back. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are back here once again for a Daily What Ifs program. Has the robots always been here? That's a really good question, and we're going to be talking about that this afternoon. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night, everybody. Yeah, we're burning like a ring of fire. Yes, we are. Here we are with Visual Disturbance. I'm coming hot out of the gate. I'm cranking up today. So we're going to get into it. A little slow go, but I thought it was a pretty good introduction. So welcome everybody to the Visual Disturbance community, Visual Disturbance channel. I want to tell you guys real quick, I've been looking at the analytics. There's a lot of folks out there that watches my daily what ifs and all my programs on the Visual Disturbance side of things. And a lot of you guys are not subscribed. What's going on? So subscribe, help me out here at Visual Disturbance, and I appreciate it. Subscribe, share this thing out, and all that good stuff. We really would appreciate it here at the Visual Disturbance channel. So, before we get into today's program, I want to be a big shout out to Miss Kathleen at Esther Jade's Facebook. Check her out. Her and her daughter do a fabulous job, and I don't get paid for this or anything. I just wanted to give them a shout out, and tell them that Visual Disturbance sent you and directed you in that direction at Esther Jade's. Check her out on Facebook if you get an opportunity. And I want to give another shout out because it's been a long time that I've announced this. But Shake and Wake Radio, she carries all of her shows. She's been nothing but a blessing. Miss Ann is literally just doing all she can. And we appreciate you so much, Miss Ann. But I hope you're doing well. Check her out, Shake and Wake Radio Network. But yeah, I've got my protein shake in one hand. I've got my other water in one hand with a Jurassic Park cup, and then I've also got a cup of coffee because you know it's going down. 3 cups. Can't make this stuff up. Thanks to compliments of my wife. She's helping me out with the protein shakes. But yeah, we got 3 drinks. It's not a coffee combo. It's a daily what ifs program. We got a lot to talk about today. The world seems like it's coming off the rails, literally. It seems like things are just escalating into whatever direction we can possibly think of, and we don't even know. Our little minds can only process so much when it comes to this world. And robots, are they taking over? That's the opposite. Are we becoming obsolete, right? I don't know. But speaking of conspiracies, check out the conspiracycon.com if you get an opportunity. The QR code and all that is on the screen pretty much through this whole broadcast on the Daily What Ifs. Here's all the lovely speakers that's going to be part of that, and we're going to be having a knockout event, 22nd, 23rd of August. Check it out. I'll be there. Tickets are on sale. Let them know at SpiracyCon I sent you over there. But yeah, check it out. All that good stuff. We got a lot of cool folks on there that's on the panel, and a lot of different hours and hours of research. You don't want to miss it. So, I had one more announcement, actually, by the way. Big thanks to everybody. If you didn't go back and watch it, I did like a 2-hour program on it was literally, I just poured my heart out because I want to thank you all so much for being part of the Visual Disturbance community. But yeah, so go check it out. If you get an opportunity, you'll be glad you did. So, if you're like me and you love a thought-provoking conversation, or you like to get your gears turning in your skull, and you like to hear somebody else's perspective, you're in the right place. Daily What Ifs program. You're in the right place. You're in good company. So check this out. Giza pyramids, right? So we got the Giza pyramids. A lot of people have been talking about this for a long time. Heck, we've been talking about it for probably a while now. But it really hit mainstream media whenever they did the excavation. Let me reframe. The sonar, no, I'm just joking. The LiDAR detection underneath the ground, and shown that there's these spiral tubes, silos, what have you, and there's supposedly villages down below. You gotta ask yourself, why? Why now, 2025? They was doing all this stuff in 2024, but why now? And then now we have the great temple, the great generator that makes the earth tick, is what I've been hearing. A lot of speculation going on here. A lot of craziness. A lot of craziness. It makes the person go, what in the world are we doing? What reality are we even at? All the years people going up and down, hey, there's got a little bit of sand, and got a little silica dust floating around over there in the pyramids. You know, there's pharaohs here, priests here, all that good stuff. And now they're saying it's a whole totally different narrative. And let me explain where I'm headed with this. So, when you think about information overload, we are at the cusp, supposedly at the singularity. A lot of people are thinking, hey, we're right there. We're right there. So, just throwing a wrench in the motor here on Visual Disturbance Channel, I have to ask myself, what in the world's going on? So, let's talk about why, if there's anything from the past that's coming around literally in full swing in 360 motion, and we're talking about evidence of hieroglyphics, Egyptian, and we're claiming there's claims about, let's just say, a little early coding. So let me explain. Hieroglyphics, there's all these symbols, pictures, and everything. It makes you go, wow, right? You're just in marvelous architect work. You're like, what is all this stuff? What can we do with this? How do we even articulate it into modern time? Well, I'll tell you how they're doing it. So they're communicating with complex ideas now. You know, some consider this as, let's just say, an early form when you look at the hieroglyphics of literally the groundwork of how information was being encoded. And, well, fundamentally, the aspect of artificial intelligence getting plugged into our system, it's let's just say, it's turbocharged the research and the archaeologist's dream, okay? So we got ChatGPT, we got 1, 2, 3, we got everything, right? There's the battle of the AI is upon us, right? Build your own AI systems. You can do it. If you have a little bit of computer know-how, you can make it happen. You can make it happen. So early robots, you're thinking, man, Brian, where you headed with this? Early robots. So yeah, has the robots always been here? That's a really good question, and we're going to find out my take on it. So there's a famous hieroglyphic, okay? Famous hieroglyphic, and that is at Temple of Seti, okay? Is depicting a modern technology like helicopters, right? You got helicopters, you got tanks, you name it. It looks like something out of a Star Wars film, okay? And then plus you have your Apache helicopters, what have you. What in the world's going on? And how did the Egyptians have this on this famous, well-known hieroglyphic? And how can you even respond to that even 10 years ago? And this is not Faker, this is not Photoshop, this is not AI. You can go to this specific place and find this. So you mean to tell me literally a couple thousand-year-old hieroglyphic is just randomly showing details of specific vehicles and stuff that we use for military applications. Let me repeat, military applications. So strange indeed. Strange indeed. So when you really step back a minute and say, where are we in our society? Where are we? And things are accelerating at a high course. I mean, it's hard to even keep up. And, not to give credit to AI, but it is like surpassing us by the second. Okay? The AI whistleblowers, all these folks are saying, hey, you got 2 or 3 years to master AI. You better get on it. You better jump on that horse before the horse is gone and the saddle's dragging in the dirt. Okay? They didn't say that. I said that. So these ancient Egyptians constructed mechanical devices called autonomous. They call it autonomants. That's what they call it, autonomants, which could mimic human actions. Well, notable example is a 4,000-year-old female statue discovered with a basic mechanical control system, essentially a primary or primitive robot. What? No, come on now. Other examples include a theater with mechanical accounts of moving statues mentioned in text from 1100 BC. So 1100 BC, we got mechanical objects. We can't even build a house now, and it collapses within about 30 years. Okay? So you have to think about this. You have to think about what is really going on. And where are we at? Like, where are we at with our reality? And folks, I'll tell you, we had all that time. All the years, and we wasted it. There's a lot of times, and I'm speaking to myself, I wasted a lot of time that I could have done better with my time. And now here we are, we're getting, like, let's just say, obsolete. We're becoming to that point. I'm not saying I'm giving up. I'm just making a statement. The things are really accelerating when it comes to the knowledge of the so-called AI. And if you've been following this channel for a long period of time, it is not what it seems, okay? Nothing new. Nothing new. And we're going to be talking about it here in a few moments. So modern robots are used to aid hieroglyphics, okay? So for example, there's literally a robot explorer that has went and supposedly went and checked out the Great Pyramid of Giza, transmitted images of hidden hieroglyphics. Okay? And forgive me for butchering the name. I think it's called Fabricus Project. Uses AI to translate hieroglyphics and offer an interactive way to learn about them. So, not to throw off on archaeologists whatsoever. I think archaeologists, if I, in another life, which I shouldn't even relate to that stance, but if I had the, let's just say if I went to 15 years of college or what have you, I'm just kidding around, but if I had the, let's just say, expertise to pull off that endeavor to be able to be an archaeologist once upon in a different realm, I would have loved to have been an archaeologist. I'd love to go sniffing out historical things and see why this stuff doesn't make sense, okay? So archaeologists have got it going on now. So it's supercharging their research, right? But here's the question. Who built the pyramids? What happened? Here's a what-if moment. You know, you always hear speculation. Well, it was the fallen angels. Well, it was the Egyptians. Well, it was, you know, we get into these argumentative mindset of like, oh, it's just everybody. Who knows? We had pulley systems and thousands of people passed away because they was building these elaborate complexity of these pyramids. Okay? Well, one have to wonder, you think, well, could it be this? What if? So what if the archaeologists and the human stance can't articulate the translations of these languages? I mean, some places in our world you can't even translate. That's ancient languages that are not even in our books. We can't even figure it out. That's what according to the count. Okay. So what if this is fallen angel technology, but what if we have a little gray involvement? You know, we was talking about this not too long ago, and especially I talked about on FOJC last night. Grays are androids. This has even been admitted. I've even brought the the three-letter agency FOIA document talking about the gray androids. In quote, they're talking about this machine that they can see the smoke and be able to see past the veil, and you see these, voila, you see gray aliens. That's what they're saying. Okay, that's what they're saying. Is it credible? Is it? Whatever. I don't know. I can't desecrate somebody's reputation, but I can tell you right now, if it's a government file and it's sitting there, hello, why would they have wrote that? Why would they even typed up a huge report? But hey, what do I know, right? So what if a hypothetical that archaeologists, there's some very well-known archaeologists that have literally tried to crack the code, so to speak, and they're only limited to a certain extent when it comes to money, and there's so-called, as far as limitations when it comes to the local government here in Egypt. So I can understand, but all of a sudden, bam, we got some miraculous hub with all like 18 different cylinders going up and down it. Now they're claiming the whole narrative has been altered and twisted and flipped upside down on its head and said, hey, it's no longer a tomb for the pharaohs. It's literally an energy generator. I've heard all kinds of speculation. We can only go down that, you know, rabbit hole so deep. I've not been there. I've not even touched that sand, nor have I had the opportunity to. But an archaeologist, when you look at this and you think about AI mechanisms, I think that the Enochian language, we have fallen angel knowledge, we have those things in place here, and that's why we can't understand it. And I think with these AI mechanisms, you watch, they'll start articulating and be able to translate in the English language, and then it'll supercharge everything to a certain, it'll go beyond the astronomical level, and they'll be able to dig and find places or whatever. I mean, we've done many shows on this. We talked about this not too long ago. Why in the world? And the Luxor was open and everything, and people walking up and down the sidewalk. Hey, I'm a tourist. Hey, I like to take pictures. And you're going up and down, walking around, and then little did they know they had 62. I think, if I'm not mistaken, 62 sarcophaguses, pharaohs, priests, you name it. They're just sitting there walking on them all these years, and all of a sudden, miraculously, bam, we got them all, and we're doing a parade for them. Go look that up if you get an opportunity. So how bizarre And how much more do we have to like really chew on? And here's this thought-provoking moment. And what if moment. I've said one or two, but this is another one. What if, the deserts of the Jedi, right? We have Hollywood narratives and all that. You think about the perspective or reality, how we perceive things. And I just was on a podcast the other day speaking about this. It's always the human factor. The human factor has to be involved in all these mechanisms. So when you observe it, you touch it, you interact with it, then things happen. So think about this. If we're not special, if humans are not special, and if humans are not worthy of praise, and we're in the bottom of the food chain, that's what they say we are, how come we have to interact with everything? And how come we're not extinct yet? But when it comes to there's nothing new, you have to think about this. So C-3PO, R2-D2, all those folks. I'm just kidding. I said folks. When I do stuff intentionally like that, it's just for kind of a joking stance. But yeah, we have a fully operational robot. Well, I just seen something not too long ago in Detroit. They're literally running down the streets like T-100s or T-800s or the T-1000 from Terminator. They're riding up down the sidewalks singing Hail Mary. Let's get the video footage out and cameras, and that's how we are now. When we see something that we marvel after, we get our phone out and we start recording it. And we don't want to understand it, we just want to take a picture of it. I digress. But yeah, C-3PO was walking around the desert with the little Ewoks, walking around, doing all kinds of different things, and it's always strange. But yes, pre-predictive programming, I don't know. Getting used to having robots around, I don't know. And then you have Jedi powers that is tied to like Monroe Institute and everything, move things with your mind and everything else. MK Ultra projects does Stargate. And when you have all these mechanisms and everything that they put into play, where are we at in history? That's the question. Where are we at in history? So, I seen this crazy article. I seen this crazy thing that's going on in Brazil right now. Yes, I'm talking about Egypt. And now we're switching over to Brazil. Yeah, it's crazy. So check this out. So in Brazil, no joke, Brazil deploys AI robots that plant 1,800 trees per hour to rebuild the Amazon. And you ask yourself a question, why and how and what is going on? And I always thought, according to the narrative, that the Amazon was literally uninhabitable. I've heard all kinds of different things. There's tribes out there, yes. There's people living there, yes. But don't you think that the folks that live there, that are native, don't you think this is going to disrupt their situation? Don't you think they're going to be a little upset? Don't you think that this is going to cause a little stir and make the pot spill out in the middle of the street? Well, in the dirt street, what have you. So when you think about this, let's read a little bit about it. So this Brazil situation is bizarre. And they're saying to fight deforestation, Brazil is unleashing an army of AI-powered gardeners. Talking about ironic. I'm just saying, we can't even plant a tree. Literally, no joke. I know people that will freak out and panic. Just completely panic and break down. Yes, it's not in our DNA. Some people are not able to do that. I'm not making fun of anybody. But it's very simple. And look, all the years that I've been alive, I'm still learning. Okay? I'm still learning. But very, very easy to take care of plants. And it's decently easy to be able to plant it in the ground. And I'm not mocking anybody, what shape or form. But these AI robots, they're planting trees. Because, well, the deforestation, apparently Amazon's going to be cranking back up and getting a little bit more, let's just say, forestry going on. So according to the account, these gardeners, okay, 1,800 trees per hour, folks. Are y'all hearing me here? Insane in the membrane, okay? Just like earlier when I was singing Little Johnny, well, I'm not going to refer to it because I don't want to get flagged on the video, but burn, burn, burn like a raging fire. Yes, we are in the ring of fire. And I think we are in fire. We are. Or let's just say we're getting scorched right now. So these machines can plant up to 1,800 native seedlings per hour, a task that would take a human team days to complete. Just think about that for a minute. But speed is only half the story. Using AI, the robots analyze the soil composition, moisture, and topography to select the perfect native species for each exact spot, mimicking nature's own biodiversity. To ensure the trees thrive, the robots inject a dose of beneficial fungi with each sapling, which supports root development and boosts survival rates significantly. Each single tree is GPS tagged for long-term monitoring, powered by solar energy, and designed for rugged terrain. These robots are a powerful new weapon in the battle against climate change. Working tirelessly to resort the lungs of our planet with precision and intelligence. So, like I said a minute ago, what if there's nothing new underneath this sun? You know, like the pyramids, I could be onto something, right? Or I could be totally, when somebody watches this as an archaeologist, dude, that guy is a complete, literally, imbecile. That's probably what they say, but that's okay. Like I said, it's a thought-provoking perspective. And what if, just like in the Amazon jungle here, they're building these 1,800 trees per hour. What if you had an army of robots, and what could you do to build a 3D printed, let's just say, facility, structure, what have you? What could you do? What could you do if you was a human and you had 5,000, 10,000 soldiers that could plant, build, and 3D print something in within just a few moments? I'll tell you a big shout out to the Amish people and the Mennonites. They got one leg on us because they ain't going to have to worry about these folks. Excuse me. I keep saying that. These robots, these autonomous, two-legged, let's just say, grays. I'm just kidding. Gray alien devices. Alien fallen angel, right? Fallen angel. But yeah, the Amish can build a house in a few days. While we sit here, the other folks argue about how to do it and how to place it in the architect work and everything. We get into an argument. But these folks can rebuild in about 2 or 3 days a pretty good size house, like a 2,000 square foot home. Pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. I'm talking about when they all come together. Pretty amazing. So big shout out to you guys. So when you have these type of mechanisms and you have like the dystopian future, Project Stargate, $500 billion, right? When these systems in Amazon, is it a testing ground? That's the question. Is this a testing ground? Is these a testing ground for what's coming to here? Because a lot of things have been passed here recently. And like I said, yes, I think AI is, you can use it. You can use it for good. It's just like anything else. Just like when we use different mechanisms like the PC and everything, from the typewriter to writing documents from the tip of your fingers, right? There's good to be done with it. But the question is, how is it going to be done? And so these folks, do they even know this is going to happen? Like in Brazil here? To me, that's just so wild to me. And I seen this article and I was like, man, I gotta do a daily what ifs on this. But speaking of, what if? This is not a what if, this is a fact. Ecclesiastes 1:9. The thing that have been, it is that which shall be. And that which is done is that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun. Well, rewind back to what I was just saying a minute ago. What if everybody just so stuck their brain in a box for all these years? And what if there is some type of, let's just say, robotic mechanism with ancient days of old? And this is why these things cannot be replicated into our fashion, because we can't get to that level of precision. What if? Giza pyramids is a prime example. The precision of that pyramid is you cannot do it. I don't care. You can take the best of the best. It doesn't matter. You could hire the 1,000 builders as far as architect work and design planning and everything. It cannot be done. You cannot manipulate. You can't do it. You can't mimic it. You can't duplicate it whatsoever. We have to face the facts. We have to face the facts. I'm not giving credit to anybody else. I'm saying on a human stance, you cannot pull this off. You cannot pull this endeavor off whatsoever. And a lot of people are like, Brian, why are you bringing up the Bible? Well, because the Bible's got a lot of truth. Well, no, it's got all the truth in it. Okay? It's got a lot to get you through this world instruction manual. And I hold it to a high regard. I really do. Ecclesiastes 1:9. Let me just redo this again. The thing that have been, it is that which shall be. And that which is done is that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun. So you got to ask yourself two questions. You got to ask yourself, why is this saying this? But then on an archaeology stance, you can go back and look, and they're finding chips in the ground, guys. They're finding plugs, electrical wiring in the ground that's under sediment and granite and things that cannot be explained. In 150, literally hundreds and thousands of feet under the ground, and they're finding these mechanisms. They're finding plumbing. They're finding things that we hold to high regard now that we think is great. But their stuff is, it's underneath all that rock and sediment, man, that dirt. But good night, it's holding up. They got chips on the rocks. I remember this like 10, 12 years ago. There was chips inside these rocks, and they said it was chips. We're going to talk about this in another episode here soon in their broadcast. What's going on in Colombia? There's these chips in this so-called sphere that's supposedly authentic and legitimate. There's a chip in it, and it's all embedded into this sphere. What's going on with that? That's a whole nother topic and a whole nother daily what if. I remember seeing something a long time ago about a individual man found in a tunnel system. Take it for what it is. Is it legit? What is it? It was 12,000 years old, supposedly dated, and he had a chip in his head, supposedly. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, that was in the maybe in close to Brazil. I think it was in Peru, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe I'm wrong. But when you look at these things, you think back, things are not what they seem. Like, we've talked about this many times, speaking of Brazil and speaking of the local, the other inhabiting areas. Peru, for example. Peru had a mummification process that was literally somehow miraculously found over here in Glasgow, Kentucky. It was there was literally a mummy on a concrete slab, and the only way to be able to pull that off was the embalming process was taught by the Peruvian people. So what's that? Where are we at? So there's nothing new under the sun, right? And a lot of people are like, well, that's a figurative sense. And, well, China has simulators, and America has simulators, and everything's a simulation, blah, blah, blah. Well, we're in it. We're in it now. We're in the realm of Never Land. And the never-ending story, and like I said at the beginning of this program, burn like a raging fire, I think we are on the cusp of something really insane going on. You see the robots that are being displayed with Mr. You-know-what, when he did the Optimus, that's what the name was, the Mr. Musk talking about the Optimus robot. And when you think about these other companies, they're going on the bandwagon. They're jumping on the fence. They're wanting to get the mechanisms and the chips and all these different processors. They're building their own personal AIs and what have you. And what is it? I even seen something online because I like to really scan through a lot of things. And I seen a TikTok video, and you can only take it for face value. But a gentleman was talking about there was billion-dollar industries, and he was taking his bare hands and building these walls to harbor robots. That's the claim. So what if that's real? What if? Is it? Can it not be? Is it not so? Why are we building so many robots? What are we planning? What's going on in our society? What's going on in reality? I made the comment one time. This is in a personal, or just a, out and about conversation. Because I heard some rumors back by 2030 that we would all be issued some type of robot. And I made the comment. I said, well, it won't come in my house, but I will program it to till the garden. And it will sit out there in the elements, the rust, the tornadic winds, or whatever is going on, volcano explosions. I'll just program it on the GPS to always come back home. The coordinates. If I have to be forced to have one of those in 2030, we're going to have it working 24/7, just like this lovely robot in Amazon in Brazil. So if we have to get issued one in 2030, folks, I'm going to put a farmer's hat on it and sing yeehaw and watch it flow. And I'm going to make tobacco crops and everything. I'm going to run it. I'll have that thing running so quick, the processor explode, and here comes the sphere to come by and pick it up for repairs. But yeah, there's my rant. And, but yeah, there's the daily what ifs today. I know it's a little bit shorter than usual, but that's the daily what ifs. But yeah, I'm going to give a shout out to everybody in the chat real quick. We're about 30-something minutes in. My goodness, time flies. Wow. But yeah, so I'm going to call the robot whenever they issue me one. I'm going to get it to talk like me too. Hey, you doing there, buddy? Instead of this, can I help you? I'll be like, I'll just replicate my voice on it. Hey, little buddy, I'm put a seed on the plant. I'm gonna put it in the plow right there. Make it all. I plant seeds and I plant saplings all day long and make Kentucky better. I know I'm ranting here and having a little fun toward the end of this video, but could you all imagine? Having to be issued one of those? This one's certified for you now, sir. Don't you lose it. Oh, don't you worry about it. He's gonna be out there fishing. Oh, I'll have to have a license for that. He's gonna be out there. He's gonna be out there tilling that ground 24/7. I don't even care if it's snowing. I'll have him dig a ditch outside, and I'll have him make a greenhouse underground. I've been wanting one of those, so I'll get him to dig and everything. So, and we'll be thriving here in Kentucky because I'll be putting some redneck ingenuity on it and watching. I don't even know what I'm gonna call it. I'll dress him up in overalls and everything. I'll do the full body suit. I don't even want him to look like a robot. And I don't know. Well, it's they live moment, it seems. Like here we are, distraction after distraction. And I'm not going to get into it too much, but there's some things that are on the X and different things in news media, which we've all been saying and speculating for a long period of time. And now we are here, and people are acting like this. Just, there's nothing to worry about. Okay. Meanwhile, robots are deploying and growing seedlings 1,800 trees per hour to rebuild the Amazon. So like I said, just do the math. If you got one, you can do a lot of damage when it comes to agriculture. So if you're into herbs and different things on a homeopathic stance, Esther Jades, go check out Esther Jades, because if she don't need no robot. She's doing it all by hand. She's making it happen. So big shout out to them. I know I gave them a shout out at the beginning. But what are you going to do with your robot? What are you going to do with your C-3PO? You're going to be able to tend to the horses, the cattle, and the farmland while you have your, I'm going to call because I use this analogy all the time, this name, I'll probably call him either it or just to come on the human side of it, the humanity side of it, I'll probably come up with some kind of redneck name to put, my name's Johnny G or something. I don't know, whatever. And, but yeah, if I have to get issued one, folks, till, and burn like a raging fire. We're going to be tilling and digging, and maybe even hit that sinkhole to Argotha. And if he goes too deep, I'll put a GPS on him and track him while he's fighting the tall grays and the little grays. And they'd be like, who sent you? The redneck. We will deploy the drones. We will deploy the spears. I mean, seriously. My name's Billy. Like whatever. And they'd be like, who programmed your name to be speaking like this? We're telepathic. But anyways, there's my fun humor here. I usually don't rant on like that on the daily what ifs, but I just want to tell you guys, everybody be good and be blessed. And thank you all so much for attending with me this afternoon on this daily what if program. I thank you all so much. You just don't know. I can't express enough that it gives me the ability to keep on keeping on, especially putting out programs and just coming on here and saying hello. But yeah, go back and watch the big thank you broadcast. But I just want to thank everybody for always being here and just being part of the visual disturbance community, because it means a lot to me. So with that being said, y'all keep it fresh, keep it real, and stay away from the crazy meal. And like I say a bunch of times, a lot of people don't understand my countrified language, but keep your head on a swivel because you never know what the 360 angle is going to be shown. You don't ever know what's happening. It's hard to figure out, no telling what's going to go from day to day process. The sun feels like 1,000 degrees and it's hotter than all get at. Blue blazes up in here in Kentucky, and it feels like your skin's going to melt off your body. The heat index is extremely accelerating into oblivion. I've never felt temperatures at this magnitude before in my life. When it's literally 100 plus heat index in June, and then you're rolling over to July and it ain't looking too good, and all of a sudden we have all these atmosphere disruptions and light beams flying from the sky. We have meteorologists telling us that it's nothing wrong, and all of a sudden we have these pop-up winds that are 400 miles an hour. The trees are bending, the poles are shifting, whatever. But if you wait a little longer, if you hang on to your underground bunker and you show back up, you will find the robots are planting 800 trees per hour in Brazil, and hopefully they'll come to a town near you and they'll help you and assist putting your saplings in the ground. So, with that being said, everybody have a blessed day, and welcome to the Daily What Ifs. And just hit on links in the description. I'm trying to build up my X account. For some reason, the powers that be are not letting my X account grow, and I don't know why. A little strange. Check me out on Facebook. But yeah, if you can find me on X, the link is in the description. It helps me build the template and everything as far as getting this information out, and especially sharing out all the other platforms I associate with in the ministry. So it's a blessing. And check out spiracycon.com. Check out Facebook, SpiracyCon. Let us know how we're doing. Like, share, comment, all that good stuff. You'll see it in the description box and on the screen there at your disposal. So, with that being said, welcome to the Matrix. Somebody said on there, John May, thank you for being here in the kind words. That spray, make the powers that be go cray. And big shout out to Tex Hoss, Nez Lover, good seeing you. Candy, Nerdy, Anna Marie, bless you. And a big shout out to, let's see, everybody's been so cooperative, and that's the main hitters. Oh, Gary, you're back again. Thank you for being here. Tanya, good to see you. And the Wolf Lady, who was at the beginning, give a shout out to you. And on and on and on. Betty Blevins, bless you so much. And KMF, good to see you. But yeah, with that being said, and then Brian Norman at the beginning, big shout out to you. And thank you for the donations. What a blessing. And I'm very, very thankful. So, well, until next time on the Daily What Ifs, I'm Visual Disturbance. Until next time, that's enough of me rambling on, but we will be back here once again on the Visual Disturbance channel. Please share us out, like it, all that good stuff, because it helps with the algorithm. I mean, it really is. We're up against it. So I appreciate you out there, wherever you are, whatever walk of life. If it's New Zealand, Australia, the Netherlands. I've seen so many folks from different parts of the world that watch my channel, and I am truly honored and blessed beyond measure. You just can't make this stuff up. I always used to say that, but I haven't said it much anymore. But I cannot express my gratitude and love for that. I just can't. And go back and watch my Big Thanks broadcast. But yeah, we're 40 minutes in. Welcome to the Daily What Ifs. I will see you on the next one. Visual Disturbance, I am out of here. Have a wonderful day. Be joyful. Be a good human. Be the change you want to see. Change your dynamic as far as your reality. Be a good human. Let's walk together. Let's ride this thing out. Let's go through the alien, the AI, the robotic mechanisms. Let's just be good humans, and let's treat each other with respect, and let's do this thing. Let's do it. And let's just put a bigger perspective, a different type of lens on your face, and just be good. Say hello to folks. It means the world. You don't know how, you do not understand with just hello, how are you can make a world of difference. Let's combat these things that are coming around the bend, and let's be better. Let's be better humans. So, congratulations, humanity. We made it to 2025, but I don't know about 2026. But like I said, I'm going to go ahead and start programming my AI robot and get ready for it to be deployed to me in 2030. But other than that, Visual Disturbance, I am out here. Welcome to the Daily What Ifs. Thank you, Amy, so much. I wanted to catch you on the last part there. Thank you again for that. But be blessed. Have a great day, and we'll see you in the next one.